Well, even I had to do a video about this because this ending to the game was so inexcusable that there is no way that I can't do a video to break down this game and to call for Matt Eberfleus' job. And I'm gonna be honest, I was a bit more patient at first than other people in in defending Matt Eberflus and saying that maybe maybe he's not doing as bad of a job in Chicago as he would have as people would have liked, because remember, like many was saying after his 2023 campaign, where he went 7-10 after he went only 3-14 the year before, that he should have been fired. But I was like, maybe Eberflus should stay because the Bears showed improvement under him, and he can go get Caleb Williams and become a better team. And then you look at this team, and they start off with a 4-2 start before the bye. But then they lose to Madhouse and Maryland and go 4-3, and a lot of people are then saying Matt Eberflus must be fired. And trust me, he made some bad decisions in that game against the Commanders, the Madhouse and Maryland. But I was like, he still has a winning record. There's still a chance the Bears can make the playoffs, or at least get a winning record. If he gets a winning record, he's probably safe. So I wouldn't say, I wouldn't go out there and call for his job just yet. I was just like, if Matt Eberflus can give a good performance, in the following games, he could just shake this one loss off. I mean, like, plenty of good teams, their coaches have poor moments. And yes, the before the Hail Mary and the fact that they were taunting is bad, but I was just like, they're 4-3, and then they get blown out by the Cardinals. Then they score 3 points against the Patriots, and at this point, I'm like, okay, Eberflus has to go. You lost 3 in a row. You're below 500. You probably can't make the playoffs at this point, and the Patriots are one of the worst teams in football. Then you lose to the Packers, and this had questionable clock management at the end of Eberflus deciding to just let the clock run down for lining up for a 46-yard field goal, which wound up being no good. The Vikings game, can't really blame Eberflus on this one because they were down 11 points with 20 seconds left, but you still lose in overtime. And then this game. So, before we break down this, I do want to show you some other questionable in-game management decisions that Matt Eberflus did as the head coach of the Bears. Obviously you want to call a timeout for a Hail Mary, and you don't, and the fact that you're letting your players taunt is disturbing, but you also have this where you give the ball to an offensive lineman at the goal line down 12-7, so you could do it in a high-level situation. Can't do that. Then against the Packers, I don't know if ESPN will show this. I don't think this thing will show it, but you have a timeout in your back pocket, but you decide not to burn it until the end of the game, and you kick a 46-yard field goal, which winds up getting blocked. I don't totally hate this just because, again, the referees kind of gave it to Chicago at the end, but I just want to set the scene for questionable management decisions by Eberflus. But, of course, this is just outright inexcusable. The Bears are down 16-10 at halftime, and it would have been a lot worse if they didn't force a fumble at their own 6-yard line. Their drive started off by going 3 and out, 4 and out, and then even though they got a first down, they can't capitalize on it before halftime. Down 16-0 at half. The Lions have scored on every drive until that fumble, and the Bears could not get anything going offensively. And then, in the second half, it changes. The Bears march down the field and score a touchdown, and even though the Lions respond, the Bears score a touchdown, and the Lions respond by punting the ball. They do force the Bears to punt because they get really backed up in their 4th and 18 at their own 7-yard line. Then the Lions miss a 45-yard field goal in Bates' first miss of the year. The Bears score another touchdown, and the Lions force them to punt, but the ball gets down to the 1-yard line. But Chicago is actually marching down the field, and they get the crucial 4th and 4 to keep the game alive. Oh wait, there's a pass interference penalty. 4th and 14, but they now draw a defensive pass interference play to give themselves 1st and 10 at the Detroit 25. First down, the pass falls incomplete. Second down, Chicago called a timeout, and even though they get a 12-yard pass, there's an illegal use of hands penalty to make it second and 20 at the Detroit 35-yard line. You have to realize that Cairo Santos, and we're going to get into this, is not exactly a good kicker from long range. So you have to figure that you have to get into his range. And then Caleb Williams is the one thing that you can't do, which is get sacked at the Detroit 41 for a loss of 6 yards. Third and 26 and you're out of field goal range. First of all, I have heard people saying that you're still in long field goal range for Cairo Santos. He's been a kicker in the NFL since 2014, and his career long is 55. I don't like the idea of having a kicker who can only hit from 55. I get that he's accurate within 50, but you still have to get to at least the opponent's 37 to try a field goal. And you know, you look at some of his longer field goals. They tried a 56-yarder with him and it missed short, and I thought it could have gone in. But when you even look at his 55-yard field goal, you'll see how close it was. And it was in a dome, and you could see why 55, 56 is the edge of his range. So, is this a video? I don't know, just go to YouTube. So this is the field goal that I want to show you. If this video ever loads, yeah. Okay, okay. I'm going to YouTube where the ads are. Oh, here's a 56-yard field goal miss. And I'll show you. And this, I think, is in a dome too. That's what I mean. It's not even a matter of accuracy at that point. It's he can't hit from beyond 55 yards. So you can't say 59 yards you're in field goal range. If you had Brandon Aubrey or Jake Bates or even Kaimi Fairbairn, then you could say that you're still in field goal range and just play it by that. But you're not. Cairo Santos, you have to get it. You have to get it closer. The 6 yards you lost, you need to get at least 4 of them back at a bare minimum. And I don't even know if that's enough, but you have to get them back to try a long field goal. If it doesn't work at that point, I would just say throw up a Hail Mary. What you don't do, though, is let the clock completely run down. And first of all, I want to emphasize this. I don't hate the idea of not calling my way. Eberfleus said that he wanted to save the timeout and get the playoff with 18 seconds left. And I don't hate that strategy at all. Because if you call timeout, the pass falls incomplete. You don't want to give the Lions time to win it in regulation. And knowing how potent their offense can get, you don't want to give them a chance to win it in regulation. Plus, if you want to go over the middle of the field, if you can get everyone set quickly, and you want to go over the middle of the field, you're gonna want that timeout. So that this way you don't have to do a fire drill field goal. If you call the timeout, you're pretty much stuck doing only a sideline pass. But Eberfleus has to realize that when the clock was at 18 seconds, you have to call a timeout. At that point, you don't really have to worry so much about giving the Lions the ball back with tons of time to do anything. But you need time to be able to get a proper third down playoff. So you need to get that. The fact that they had still a timeout in their back pocket, inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. They only get the playoff with 6 seconds left. Again, I don't hate the idea of trying not to burn timeout, but at 18, 17, or 16 seconds left, you have no choice but to burn one. Because now you pretty much force Caleb Williams into throwing a Hail Mary when you absolutely could have gotten closer for a field goal. Again, Williams is taking a lot of the blame for this, and rightfully so, because you can't get sacked there. You have to have awareness, but if Williams can't handle it at that moment because he just got sacked, as a head coach, Eberflus has to step in. And the fact that he didn't and he let the game end this way, inexcusable. He must be fired.